No one had predicted that Paolo Di Canio's record of 13 games in charge of Sunderland would ever be beaten, but Michael Beale has just achieved it. He's gone, Jack. How do you feel?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Great news. Hallelujah! At last, he's finally we're free. I mean, I feel too harsh saying it, but yeah, it was a disaster from the start, and yeah, it's finally over.
Well, cheers for breaking your holiday at Lanzarote to join us. Good to see you actually on Terrace Talk on the terraces. That'll be first.
Yeah,
Okay, I mean, do the board deserve a little bit of credit here? There's lots of people slamming the board, saying terrible appointment, but actually, 8 games, they've seen it, they've seen the complete disenchantment of the fans, and they've acted quickly.
I mean, I personally didn't think they'd all. I've been saying all the time that people have been saying Bill out saying it's pointless because I cannot see them admitting they've made a mistake. I thought they'd have been too stubborn with it. So got to give them credit. Obviously, the statement read, it's not too clear whether they've sacked him or he's walked or it's mutual or whatever, but it's they've realised they've made a mistake. They've held their hands up. They've got the wrong man, and now hopefully in the summer they'll make the right appointment.
Yeah, so the statement is that obviously he has had a hard time of it, was both off and off the field. He's obviously got a lot going on, and it hasn't gone well. And I said, was it just that performance at Newcastle? Sorry, against Newcastle, which fans just haven't forgiven. Was that if that fixture wasn't there? Do you think he would have had a bit more time?
Uh, no, because I don't just think it was that. I mean, there was a lot after the Newcastle game, but we were still like, right, look at it, they're top four in the Premier League, the Champions League level side. You know, it's fair enough, but it was the games after that, particularly the Ipswich defeat, the whole one in particular at home. That was really, really, really bad. It was more the actual league defeats and the manner of them were just so poor. It was just never gonna work.
Okay. So Mike Dodds is back again then, for another stint in charge. Now the statement today has led us to believe that is into him to the end of the season. Do you see that happening, or do you see them trying to bring someone in?
No, I don't think they'll stick with him. I think you know what, you may as well have just done it when we had him. We had him for a couple of games after Mowbray. He won, beat West Brom and Leeds. And if you were going to appoint Beale, you may as well have just kept Dodgy, and he could have had an extra 2 months. Now he's just got however many games he's got left, 12, 13 games. And then it's just sort of consolidate till the end of the season. It's in a way written it off unless he can perform some sort of miracle. So I can't see them appointing someone in between now and the end of the season, if I'm honest. I think they'll definitely stick their plan of waiting because Mike Dodds is probably a good enough coach. He's not going to like totally tear up the club. He's a safe pair of hands for now. So yeah, I think we'll see someone coming in the summer.
Yeah, it does sound like they've got someone in mind who perhaps is contracted and is not available at the moment, doesn't it? We've obviously
Yeah,
spoken before about some European managers. Some names that have come into the betting in the last couple of hours since the news broke, and then Roy Keane.
well, his name's always floating around Sunderland managerial rooms. I think that relationship died when we tried to appoint him, but back in League One, and it all fell apart. So the chance of that happening, I think they're very slim now because I doubt they have a very good relationship.
Yeah. Will Still is obviously a name that keeps coming up, and probably that may be the appointment this summer, or Steve Cooper. That's how does that one float you?
Steve Cooper, I think he did a good job for us for a while. Obviously, he tailed off a bit and he struggled. But Forest fans love him. That they worship him a lot. He did a lot for them. Obviously, got promotion from this league. I'd be happy with that appointment. He seems like a good pair of hands who could take us up. Will Still, obviously, there was a lot of that flying about, and everyone would have wanted him. So, but I don't think they'd pay compensation. It's just whether there's some sort of agreement in his contract that could be up in the summer. I'm not really too sure how it works, but that'd be a good appointment by the sounds of it. A very, very ambitious one. But yeah, we'll see what I just they have to get it right. They cannot afford to get another appointment wrong.
Okay. Just before we move on from this, I'm sure you and all Sunderland fans will want to wish Uncle Tony Mowbray all the best, who's had to step aside from Birmingham duties
Yeah.
this week for 6 weeks. Um, Obviously, they were a well organised side and came out in the second half and you caved. What did you make of your performance on Saturday? Not that it's relevant anymore.
Yeah, well, first of all, yeah, all the best to Tony. As much as he's a football man, and we all love him. Aside from that, he is just a human being at the end of the day, and health comes before anything. So, we wish him the best. But yeah, Saturday was a weird one. I thought we had a good first half, nicked the goal, obviously through Clark, who else. I thought we were doing okay. We'd not performing too badly, but the second half, we just caved, totally caved. Let the occasion get us a little bit, and yeah, we could barely string three passes together. I think it was the final straw. I mean, you felt he was turning a bit of a corner after we beat Stoke, got a point at Borough, beat Plymouth, but I kept saying up it, I'm keeping reserve because
You
he's
did,
got
yeah.
7 points from that. He's got 7 points from 9 games before, and it all went to pot again. So, it was just poor. The second half, really bad on Saturday, really bad.
Yeah. Well, well done for finding a bar showing Birmingham and Sunderland in Lanzarote. That's
Honestly,
that's good effort.
surprisingly, you've got all the Premier League 3 o'clock ones, and then you've got like all of them seem to be like, oh, we have loads of Sunderland fans, loads of North East fans going. So yeah, I was quite shocked, but they're all over.
All right, let's bring in your opponents then this weekend. It's the Swans, who are fresh back really a couple of weeks ago from visiting the North East, where they were quite successful. Let's bring in James and Richard, our Jacks. How are you, fellas?
Well, we've
Yeah,
had
good on
better
you.
weeks. Yeah.
Okay. You went to Hull a couple of weeks ago and were quite successful there. So confident of a trip to Sunderland, James?
Well, I'd have been a little bit more confident if they just give Beale until the end of the weekend, if I'm being really honest. There seems to be a trend that's happening this season. Every time there's a manager under pressure, they bin him off before we get a chance to play him. I don't think that we could get something wrong. We showed some promise in the game against Ipswich. I think the last time we played there, we ran out 3-1 winners, albeit they were down to 10 men. So yeah, I think we could get something out of it, especially with all the upheaval that's gone on over the last couple of days.
Yeah, Richard, you as confident as James?
Well, it'd be interesting. We've had a bit of a disastrous week, and I think it is very much pressure on now for the manager. And although people are behind him at the moment, it's results-based industry, as we've just seen with Sunderland. I honestly think a point will be a good result away from home, and it's building towards next weekend at Blackburn then. But yeah, we've gone back a couple of steps since last week. Very positive last week, and then a few heavy hits this week with a lot of problems to be addressed.
Okay, Jack, what have you made of Swansea? Of course, when you played them there was some dodgy refereeing going on in the reverse fixture, if you remember rightly.
Yeah.
What do you make of this one?
It's weird really because I rated Luke Williams really high as a manager. I think he did a great job at Notts County. He looks like a very good tactical coach. I just think he's the type of manager you give time to because he's sort of big step over the league, and I think he'll do well for them. Obviously, hasn't got off to the perfect start, but I think he'll turn it around, and it'd be just the type of game where he finally gets a big statement victory up here, and like you'll finally see some of his tactical nous, and yeah, it'd be exactly that type of game. I wouldn't be too shocked.
All right, let's get some predictions then. A very happy Jack, you can go first.
Well, it's hard to say. Obviously, you don't really know too much what to expect. I think Dodsey, he's someone who knows the players a lot better. He's got really good relationships with the players. And as I say, it's just about consolidation and keeping us afloat at the minute, I think. But I can see a decent game on Saturday. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
And Richard?
Yeah, I think a draw is probably going to be on the cards. Both teams got a point to prove. I think 1-1.
Okay, and James?
I think there's going to be goals. We seem to concede a lot. So I'm going to say it's going to be 3-2 Swansea.
Nice one. Excellent. Well, listen, thanks for watching the Sunderland View. If you're a Beale fan, we've yet to meet one on this channel. You're gutted that he's left. Please got a comment below, or if you're glad to see the back of him, also join Jack in his triumphant victory, you call it. Thanks, Jack. We'll see you next week. And cheers for joining us. Enjoy Sunderland versus Swansea. Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.